have to stay in their respective lanes until they get to the guide pylon. Andrew's got a great start. He may actually have the whole shot on Jeff Lavelle. That's what he's going to need. When he gets that guide pylon here in just a second, there's going to be a hard roll to the left. That's going to be about a 6G pull, Tommy, as he makes this corner. Watch him rack it up to a 90-degree bank here in just a second. About 6.5 Gs right there. Look at him bouncing around the cockpit at over 400 miles an hour. Look at that, full 90-degree bank being packed in the cockpit about 6 times his body weight. These pilots have to be in condition.
Very physical act of flying these sport planes here, going that fast. Andrew Findlay, you'd have to say that was a successful start for him.
Absolutely. Jeff Lavelle sitting back there going, Andrew Findlay, how's a guy to make a living in sport with you doing this?
Well, he is going to give it all, as you said about our last race, the T6 Gold. You might save a little during the course of these 4 days of racing. You might be a little light on your equipment, hoping it makes it through 4 days. Now, all bets are off. Everything's on the table.
Well, apparently yesterday, Jeff Lavelle, kind of came back in the pits, licking his wounds and said, I guess I'm going to have to push a little bit more. Something Jeff Lavelle hasn't said in 8 years. I guess I'm going to have to push it.
So far, Andrew Findlay able to maintain that lead. He staked out for himself in the opening seconds of this race here as we head into lap number 2 of 6 laps.
And it looks like Vince Walker may have moved up a little bit from the back, but our race still is out in the front. And boy, are they moving. Andrew Findlay has given he's given a lesson in air racing today. Look at the lead he's got back there at the 11 o'clock position on the course. He is giving a clinic on air racing. If that 700 horsepower twin turbocharged Continental air-cooled engine can stay together, because I guarantee it's being run hard right now, harder than it's ever been run in its life. They did a lot of work to the engine. They did a lot of work to the airframe. They took 9 inches off each wingtip, and they took the vinyl wrap off the wings, because at the speeds he was going this year, they were bubbling up and they was losing speed.
Into the valley of speed. A look at 3rd and 4th place here.
Okay, that's my good friend Jimmy Russ chasing down Bob Mills, a local pilot right here in Reno, Nevada. Jimmy's flying behind a 600 horsepower Lycoming, chasing down a 550 horse Continental in that Super Glass Air 3. Well, we've got a couple races going all over this course right now.
We don't dare take our eyes off the leader for very, very long, and there he is right there, race 30. Andrew Findlay getting off to a good start here and opening up a little ground ahead of Jeff Lavelle, defending champion Jeff Lavelle.
He's got to be loving that clean air with no number 39 in his front and windscreen like he's used to seeing. Look at that. The course is all his. It's his to lose at this point, because if he cuts a pylon, he's going to give it away. If he does everything right now, this could be his top of the podium for the first time for Andrew Findlay and Steele.
You were talking about his wings a moment ago. I don't know if we'll get a shot of the underside of his wings, but on each wing, the representation of a saw bar and blade of a Steel 066 chainsaw.
Well, I think that may have been what the graphic is. The vinyl he took off. I think
yeah, there it is.
Yeah, see, his wings are all white now.
Okay, that's the part that's gone.
Yeah, that vinyl graphic was actually bubbling up and creating drag, so they took it off this year. That's what he
took, okay.
Took the graphics off the wing and clipped 9 inches off each wingtip, and boy, did it work. Every flight, these airplanes are experimental category, because every time you leave the ground, it's an experiment. But nobody experimented more than what Andrew Findlay did this past year, and it paid off.
Had to go back to the drawing board. In fact, during the course of this race, not back to the drawing board, just for some essential maintenance, and certainly got rid of the problem that plagued him on day 2 of racing.
Look at that cockpit shot, racked up at 90 degrees. So he's pulling about 4.5 Gs. Okay, 3rd and 4th, still a good race back there. That should be Bob Mills and Jimmy Rust out of El Cajon, California. Both flying Super Glass Airs. One's 550 horse in front. Jimmy Rust has a 600 horse Lycoming in his.
Oh, this race is going by so very quickly. The speeds.
I guarantee it's not going fast enough for Andrew Findlay.
No, time is slowed down for Andrew Findlay. He just doesn't want to. He don't want to see anyone else. If he doesn't see anyone else, everything's perfect.
Way too fast for Jeff Lavelle, not fast enough for Andrew Findlay. But see, this is what Andrew's got to be. If any of you guys have raced before, I used to race motorcycles. You've got to be really careful that you keep being aggressive. You don't want to try and protect first place. You want to win the race outright. You want to make them chase you down. You don't want to get into mode where you try and protect the win, because if you do that, then you could get snuck up on. So he's got to keep pushing. Like if he was in second place, don't relax just because you're in first.
Hard to tell from this angle. We'll see when they go by. It may be that Jeff Lavelle has been able to scratch out a few more yards on him, get a little closer to Andrew Findlay in race 30.
I think he's reeled him in a little bit. Okay, there's Andrew Findlay, the beautiful orange and white Team Steel aircraft. Powered by the 700 horsepower, twin turbocharged, air-cooled Continental with ADI, anti-detonation injection. They are twin turbos. They're boosting these steel cylinders, turning them into 6 little metal balloons right now. They're packing so much air into those cylinders.
This is our white flag, last lap on the way.
He's starting to overtake aircraft, which passing aircraft can always be a factor.
Could slow you down a bit, right?
Well, you got to make sure you pass high to the right on them. The slower airplanes are always advised, just fly your line. They will treat you as a stationary target. Don't try and move for them to stay there. They'll go around you.
Andrew Findlay, like you said, don't defeat yourself here. Out there in that clean air, just getting to do what he came to do here in Reno.
You realize he's covering about 3 miles, actually probably more about 5 or 6 miles a minute out there right now. Look how fast he's going. A football field, 2 football fields a second is what he's covering.
In a homemade racer.
Boy, great shot from the cockpit of the high desert here in Reno, Nevada. Stead Field, 10 miles north of downtown Reno.
Coming down to it here, final lap of Sport Gold.
Racked up 9-degree bank, coming around for the 7, 8, 9 pylons one more time. Now he's lined up right in front of the audience.
Here we
Check
go.
the flag.
We talked about Andrew Findlay. He could make this the greatest day of his racing career, and it looks like he has done it.
Was that a fist pump, okay?
I think we got a little something out of him right there, and why not? Time to celebrate for Andrew Findlay.
Okay, now I guarantee his team's listening to the radio as the pylon judges check in. Here's our other airplanes. Jeff Lavelle was way back. He dropped way back.
Yeah,
Andrew
back.
Conducted a clinic today in how to race the sport class. Now they're going to trade airspeed for altitude. They're going to climb up into their cool-down laps. This is where they're going to... There's still some planes on the course here. They're still racing out there.
Just wrapping up the final planes in Sport Gold here.
They're going for bragging rights now. There's Jimmy Rust.
White airplane on the southeast side of the field right now. Who's that?
It's going to be Peter Ballmer right here.
Yeah, one of the Thunder Mustangs and the V12 Falconer powered engine. So yeah, they're going to go to the cool down lap right now. This is where they go up there, try and get the cylinders cooled down, get the oil cooled down, get their heads back in the game, because now they got to go from being a competitive athlete to back to the skills of a pilot and get these aircraft back on the ground. You know, it's kind of go from gladiator back to pilot mode.
That's right. Real world looms large when you get done with the...
Anybody can fly. It takes the pilot to land us, and now they got to get back into being a pilot.
I've never heard that one before. It's pretty good. Andrew Findlay. Spent some time in the cockpit with him, and we didn't see any other planes.
You know, even from behind, I think that was a huge sigh of relief for him. So it's been a long time coming. He sure worked hard for this.
For a long, long time. You're exactly right.
Wow.
Never
What a job.
satisfied.
What a job.
He's going to be your unofficial winner of the John Parker Memorial Gold Race in the sport class.
So long as there's no pylon cuts, that's the tough part. If there's a contest hold for a pylon cut, that changes everything. But right now, unofficially, he is your 2018 winner. Great job to the Team Steel and Andrew Findlay.
Well,
see the right hand rolling in some boost right there, Tommy? Watch this drag race. Watch the whole shot he gets once the jet releases him. Color me gone.
Up and down onto the course.
The guide pylon. There they were at the first pylon. Jeff Lavelle still had a chance at that point. He was still within striking distance, but Andrew Findlay found so many more horsepower in his off season. And there's no limit on horsepower. There's a limit on cubic inch. It's 1,000 cubic inch. But there's no limit on horsepower, and Andrew found a whole bunch of it.
Takes a lot of constant work, a lot of creativity, and innovative thinking to get a job like that done, and here we see it. Video evidence of the payoff.
Jeff Lavelle may have hurt his airplane in this race trying to chase down Andrew Findlay because he just landed in one of our emergency runways over there. So if you look way back behind the steel start-finish pylon, he has landed and turned off the runway to vacate it so as not to foul a runway should somebody else need it. But Jeff Lavelle did not do a normal landing. He did land on one of our escape runways way back on the backside of the course. So I'm thinking Andrew Findlay was able to push Lavelle to the point that he melted something down. Boy, quite a testament, because Andrew Findlay up to today has had the reputation of pushing his equipment to failure.
Well, two planes pushing each other like this through the years, that's how you make great leaps forward in the sport class, and that's what we have seen today, the great leap forward for Andrew Findlay. The last few years it's been Jeff Lavelle.
Tommy, it was a fist bump.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, well-deserved, too.
There's a guy who's happy. Again, unofficial. The scorers and all the judges will get together and declare this one official when they've compared all their notes. And if they do that, it's going to be Andrew Findlay, Jeff Lavelle, race 39. Don't know if he made it in second place. We'll double check that for you. We got Bob Mills, Jim Rust, and there Peter Ballmer. We saw him. I think we can confirm him in fifth place. Matthias Haid coming in sixth, seventh. Sixth place, seventh is Vince Walker. And
Carl Grove had pulled off early. I saw him land as his other airplanes were finishing the race.
Carl Grove, who had raced well enough to draw into this race and couldn't get it done. Get that opportunity to take advantage of it this time around. But you know he'll be back. Some good racing from Carl Grove. This week in Reno.
Our emergency crews are returning back to their spots on the ramp, which is always a good sign. So it just means that Jeff Lavelle saw something he didn't like in the cockpit. Who knows what it could have been. But again, for him to drop back the way he did, I'm saying that I think it's pretty safe to say that he hurt his engine in that race, and happy to have it back on the ground, but he's got a year to rebuild it, and now he's got a new goal.
If you're gonna push it a little too hard, this is the day to do it for sure. Did not turn out the way Jeff Lavelle, and hats off to Jeff Lavelle. What a great career, what a great legacy in sports. Six-class racing.
Six-time champ. I mean, he's got nothing to be ashamed of.
No, sir.
Russ making a go-around. Yeah, he's got nothing to be ashamed of there. He had 6 victories, over 430 miles an hour in a home-built airplane. One of the third fastest propeller-driven airplane on the field this year. Actually, fourth now. Andrew Findlay just took over the third spot.
Well, you talked about Andrew Findlay today being the guy who will get to experience being the hunted. That'll be him next year. Everyone will be gunning for that guy. Race 30, the steel plane, Andrew Findlay.
He is no longer predator. Now he is prey.
Will come in as the defending champion, pending all the official signing off on his unofficial.
He's got to settle down, because he's as excited as heck. He's got to settle down, put that airplane back on the runway. Looks like they're landing runway 26 out here at Reno. He's got to put it back on the runway one more time. Everybody's watching now. Now's not the time to do a bad landing.
No. Yeah. We're all looking over your shoulder, Andrew.
Yeah, get it close. Now hold it off. Let gravity overtake lift. And there she is. Team Steel, race 30. Andrew Findlay back on the ground. Your new 2018 Unlimited Sport Class winner, Andrew Findlay. Yeah, if you guys have a camera down the pits, you watch him get mobbed by his crew when that canopy comes open.
We had a camera with him yesterday.
Yeah, there's going to be an excited crew down there. Not to mention some executives from Steel that are going to be very, very happy. Because what a way to be a title sponsor and have your airplane win its event.
Boy, you talk about timing now. That was timed just right. We had our Steel execs here yesterday. You interacted, introduced them at the welcoming ceremony both days. We heard from them, and boy, I think they feel good about their trip out here to Reno.
Oh, they got to be some happy campers right now. Now, get out that contract for the future. Let's keep them on board.
Yeah, word of this will be back. It's already back in Germany, I would imagine, by now.
There's more fist pumping going on from the cockpit. So that means his crew can see him. He's pumping that fist. I guarantee they are one excited team Steel down there in the pits right now. When that prop stops, watch for the people to come in. They all look at there he is, a fist pumping. The crew's happy. The prop is stopped. Watch what happens when that canopy comes open.
Hail the